Hey everybody, welcome to this episode of the Disc Golf Answer Man. I am Bobby Cool, Daddy Slick Breeze, and I have with me Robert.
Hey.
Filament.
Yeah.
Filament.
Scoot on over, buddy.
The filament. No.
Yeah, because lights, you know?
Yeah, lights. What goes in the light? The little thing.
Because you have so many good ideas.
I know.
That's what it is, yeah.
And also filling in, Anthony, not Robert McCall.
Yes. I would like to...
in your face.
Van Hoosel.
Van Hoosel.
I got not only introduced, I got a nickname the very first time. Not first time, but just sitting in this chair.
Yeah.
So,
no, that slight hasn't gone unnoticed.
In your face.
In my opinion. Okay.
Nice. All right, so if you're wondering what's going on, Eric McCabe is out of town. Where is he?
He is in Boston, or Boston-ish, for the Vibram Open.
Oh, that's right. Hey, he's playing, and Denise is also with him playing. Ralph is there, not playing.
They got the pups. Yeah.
And Sheba, again, not playing as well.
Not competing this week.
Not competing. And so Robert has shifted over to Eric's chair, and then Anthony has moved into third violin.
That's right.
In third chair.
That's how you see me now?
I guess, yeah.
Whatever, dude.
I just kidding.
Yeah, no, I'm just messing with you.
So anyway, it's a beautiful Tuesday, August 29th. We got a lot of questions, a lot of stuff to go over. First, let's talk about if you are listening and you're in the Houston, Texas area, man, I am praying for you. I hope things are okay. I hope, I was watching, some coverage of it last night and it's just devastating. And I hope that everything is okay for everybody, all our listeners and stuff like that.
That's where my parents are at. Is in
oh,
Houston.
really?
Yep. Northwest. So they're farther removed from the major flooding downtown and on the freeways and the bayou and everything. But their neighborhood is wet, but it's not flooded up to the level of houses yet. So
yeah, but it's coming back around.
It is, but I think it looks like they're not going to flood, which is nice. I mean, they sent us videos of water just flowing from their backyard to the front, but it's, I don't know, engineered properly so that it's not moving toward the house. So that's good. It's been crazy though. They've been stuck for a little while. Yeah. They have electricity, but a lot of people don't.
Wow.
Sucks.
So if you are able to help, now obviously if you can't help, no, okay. But if you're able to help, I know last night I was watching something and there was a way to, you texted the word Harvey to 90999, I think it was. I think
that's right.
And it allowed you to automatically text or donate $10 to the Red Cross. So we did that and then donated straight to the Red Cross because, we were able to donate and we want to make sure that the people are okay.
For sure.
Now on to some lighter stuff.
Yeah.
Anybody play any disc golf?
I did this weekend.
What did you do?
We did.
Oh, yeah, we did.
We played.
I did not.
No.
Yeah, Anthony was still dead.
Back from the grave.
That's right. Bobby and I met up with some other people that work here, Corey and Tim, not Tim, Corey and Kevin and Kevin's girlfriend, Dallas, and my wife, Shay. And we played doubles where you call out the rules for the hole on each tee box.
Oh, yeah, that's what I remember.
It was super fun.
Yeah.
Okay.
We cut off early because it took us a really long time to play. Because we did a lot
and it
of
got hot.
It did, yeah.
There was no clouds.
No. We had a lot of putter off the tee type shots, forehand roller off the tee, bunch of stuff like that. But we had a good time.
Who called the rules? Was it just like
if you won the previous hole, then you got to call the rule?
Ah, okay.
And we did some pretty interesting stuff.
Yeah, it was really fun. Like one of the holes I liked, it was hole 4 down the hill at West. We said you have to each shot progresses up to the next speed in disc and then back down. So off the tee, you have to throw a putter. For your second, you have to throw a mid-range, third fairway, fourth distance driver. And then if you're past that, back to fairway.
Okay.
Which meant
That's
most
fun.
of the time that you're putting with either a fairway or a distance driver. Hilarious.
Not ideal.
Great.
Not ideal.
My the one that I had the most fun with was either 10 or 11. I can't remember which one, but you had to throw standstill from the tee. And then when you were ready to putt, you had to jump putt.
Had to jump putt. No matter where you were.
No matter where you were, you had to jump putt.
Yeah. So Shay and I threw standstill forehand and we were short, like 60 short. And so we jump putted, but didn't really come close. But then we were 5 feet jump putting. And it's like, try it sometime. It's pretty hard to not just rocket it in there and have it spit back out. So
because was it you or Kevin legitimately
It was Kevin who missed.
Yeah, it legitimately was jump putting from really close and missed.
Yeah, which was hilarious.
That's
because
funny.
it kind of throws your whole
Yes.
timing and everything
It was
off.
it was great.
It was funny. So
Yeah. We had a good
there's a little bit of humor to it. So that was
That's
a good
really
time.
cool.
So no, you didn't get to play any disc golf.
No, he did.
I played 6 or 7 holes with my mom
Okay.
at just a little pitch and putt course. But no, I was dead. I was almost dead after that.
Yeah. Last
That
week,
was-
Anthony was not feeling so well.
Not so much.
No, not so much. So, all right, guys, what do you say we get right into the questions?
Let us
Deal.
do that.
allow us to do this.
Allow us. So, guys, remember, as always, you can go to discgolfanswerman.com and submit your disc golf question. You can do it on the form, or if you prefer, if you're feeling a little froggy, you can.
What is it like to feel froggy?
Have you never seen a frog just start going crazy?
I mean, I have, but I'm just curious.
Well, that's what it is.
That's what it's like to feel froggy. I'm going to jump around and submit a speak pipe
Right.
question.
have you ever seen Kermit the Frog when he's just crazy?
Yes.
There you go.
Okay, that's it?
That's when he's feeling froggy.
That's how the listeners are.
yeah.
All right.
Lots of
I have a
jumping.
question for you. That was the worst.
That was not a really
Was
good
that
one.
Mickey Mouse?
That was not a great Kermit. That's okay.
Anyway,
It's okay.
if
We're going to
you're
work
feeling
on it.
froggy, you send in a voicemail through Speak Pipe because we like to listen to those first. So
I
the
didn't
first
even
one,
attempt. I was so scared.
I know. This first
Somebody's
one
going
is
to.
from Jean.
Sean.
Hey guys, this is John Ben from Vancouver, Canada. I was watching Ledgestone and saw Paul Macbeth on hole 5. He wedged his disc into the basket, and there was a CTP on that hole. So I'm curious if he won the CTP with that shot. I didn't see anyone, him making signing the CTP marker. And also in that same vein, would an ace secure a CTP on a hole like that? There was an ace on that hole, so that was earlier. Anyway, I'm curious about that. And my second question is about really, really soft discs.
Let's go. Let's do the Paul Macbeth
He
first.
answered his own question.
Yeah, the ace
In
took the CTP.
The ace, Barsby aced it the day before.
Oh, okay.
And so I didn't know there was a CTP on that hole,
Me
but
neither.
it only makes sense that in the basket is closer than next to the basket.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, even if you put a disc on the pole, I guess you could say that's closer than wedged in the basket. Although that's stupid to me. If the person,
Mhm.
if there was no ace, I would say the wedge takes
Yeah.
CTP.
Yeah.
Also, what a ridiculous ace, by the way.
Yeah, like almost 500 feet.
No
big deal.
Pure hyzer. Who cares?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, I think ace takes CTP every time. That's how we would do it. Like at the end of tournaments, if there's an ace pot, nobody hits it, we throw a CTP at the end. If somebody hits an ace on that shot, usually we just give them all the money instead of splitting up for the next closest to the pin.
What do you do if, like, say Paul's was a foot higher and aced?
Mhm.
Do they now split the CTP,
Split, yeah.
or is it Barsby because he hit it first?
I would say split.
Split it. Okay.
Yep.
All right. So let's see the second part of his question.
ran into a guy who was throwing a Daredevil woodchuck, which is an incredibly soft putter. And you can bend it over and then bend it over again. That's how soft it is. And he threw this on a hole that I have a lot of trouble with because the disc always skips. And his just flopped dead where it landed on the ground. And I thought that was really cool. And it would be a really cool utility disc. And I've never seen pros throwing discs like that, especially like on some holes where there's a huge chance of a roll away. It would be a really useful disc because the thing just doesn't roll. It would just flop to the ground. So tell me your thoughts on those putters, why I don't see people throwing discs like that more often. Thanks for everything you do and keep it real.
Good question. I've seen several players. Ron Converse is one that comes to mind, who throws a soft suspect
Mm-hmm.
pretty frequently. And his reasoning is exactly like what you said. When it hits the ground, it sticks. It doesn't really have much ground action. I think the reason that you don't see it quite as much is that if it's a little windy outside, or if it's even a little warmer outside, those discs get really floppy. And so it's kind of hard to control the flight plate and then by extension, control the flight. And so I don't know. I think the trade-off there is you have it, you have the disc feel comfortable in your hand to where you're confident in the line that you can throw, but maybe it gets a little bit of ground action. I carry a blend Warden, and I really like the flight of it, but I also use it for like longer putts because it's a little bit softer. When it hits the ground, it has a tendency to stick a little bit better than my long ones. But
Mhm.
I don't know. That's what I think about that.
I have a soft pure that was like my go-to upshot disc because it hits the ground and stops. But I actually just recently switched to a medium pure because, like you said, in the summer it gets too soft and you really can't grip on it that well. But yeah, I think throwing soft putters, especially like he said, the hole it has a tendency to skip, like a course like De La,
Right.
would come in handy so much at stuff like that.
I would for sure put a disc like that in my bag for
Mhm.
Dela. Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, let's go to our next one, and it's from probably not Pat,
Probably
not, but hey, it could be.
but it could be Pat.
Could be.
Hey, Disc Golf Answer Crew. My question for you guys this week is about disc selection with regard to elevation changes. I've seen some conflicting opinions on the internet and was curious what discs should you be throwing when you throw downhill versus which disc you should be throwing when you throw uphill. Thanks, and keep it real.
Conflicting opinions on the internet. I've never heard of such a thing.
Unbelievable.
That is silly. Okay.
Everybody agrees, and everybody's nice on the internet.
Come
all
on.
the time.
It's just rainbows and butterflies.
Right?
My suggestion when throwing uphill, and Eric and I have talked about this on the show before. Couldn't tell you which episode, but that when you throw uphill, you want to back off of stability a little bit. You want to choose something a little more understable than you would normally throw, and the reason for that is that understable discs, say a right hand backhand, thrown on a little bit of hyzer, they want to stand up to flat and they want to stay in the air, right? It's like they're fighting, they're going with the spin of the disc, and that's wanting to stay in the air. Whereas overstable discs are wanting to get to the ground. They're actively trying to fight left. And so the best thing for you to do is take a little bit more understable disc, throw it higher than you think you need to, and then let the turn do the distance work for you. And then also temper your expectations for how much ground you're going to be able to cover. You know, there's a hole here in Emporia it's hole 5 at East, which is 470 something, and it's slightly uphill. And I don't ever go for it because maybe in a field, because there's OB short of it, maybe in a wide open field, flat ground, yeah, maybe I go for that time to time. But with that little bit extra uphill, it's just hard for me to be confident I'm going to get the right flight to get it all the way there and not go out of bounds. So I would say temper your expectations on the type of distance that you think you'll get on an uphill shot, especially when you switch to that more understable disc. It's going to feel like it's flying more overstable when you're throwing uphill as well. What do you think about downhill?
Downhill, a lot of people say go overstable, but I think it's important to keep the shot shape in mind.
Yep.
Don't, just because it's just because it's downhill doesn't mean, okay, I have to throw a justice. If you still need something to go straight, maybe throw something, a little bit more overstable than you would if it was a flat shot, but don't say, okay, it's downhill and I want it to go straight and then a little left, so I have to throw a criminal.
Right.
I usually, unless it's a significant difference, I usually don't change too much. Like I have discs that go straight, and if I need a straight shot uphill, it's still going to go pretty straight. If I have a straight shot downhill, it's still going to fly pretty similar. But yeah, maybe a step up in stability for downhill shots.
Yeah, I would say a step up in stability, or like you said, neutral flying discs are really good downhill. And matching the pitch, the angle of the slope is really, really important. That'll make your disc fly true to the flight that you're intending to achieve, instead of if you let it go level with where you are and the pitch is 20 degrees downhill, that thing's gone. It's way left and you'll probably never find it.
I was playing around back when I lived out in Portland. I think it was this time when I was playing around with one of the Central Coast guys, Alex, another local guy, and then one of the TDs for Beaver State, Jeff Haggerty. And there's one hole there where it's really downhill at the beginning and then it kind of flattens out. And I could not get this hole. It's pretty open in the beginning. I forget what hole it is. I want to say it's like 4 or 5. And then there's a bunch of trees down by the basket. And he was saying, you're throwing it like a normal shot, but it's super downhill. And so one thing to keep in mind on downhill shots is you never want the disc to go higher than you are. You don't want the disc to go up. Like you said, you kind of match the angle or even just keep it flat. But for a downhill shot, you don't want the disc to be climbing. You want it to go either straight or start off down.
Yeah, you can manage where it lands after that for sure.
Yeah. Hey, yeah. All right, this next one is from Chewy at StarWars.com.
It's a very official URL to
Eric
have.
would be very excited.
He would, and he's going to miss it. But apparently,
Sorry, Eric.
Chewbacca plays a little disc golf.
Can we get a Chewbacca?
But what if it's only Chewbacca noises for the whole question?
I wouldn't even be.
Let's find out.
Let's find out.
Only one way to find out. Let's find out.
Yes. Was this you, Robert?
No, I wish it was because that's funny.
Oh, that's it. It was.
That's the whole question.
9 seconds.
Hey,
so
thanks, man.
How do you answer him?
Yeah.
I can't even do it.
You're going
like
to want
to
throw wardens on that?
Yeah. My choice for that shot is a warden.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Thank you, Chewy, for
right.
submitting that. I'm
Yeah,
really
let's
sad Eric's not here because he would have gotten a kick.
I
You
know.
would have been excited.
Oh, excuse me. I'm going to yawn into the microphone.
Yeah, why not, man?
I'm so excited about this episode. Anyway, this is next one's from Penjami Besonen.
I love when you read names. It's so great. It's my favorite part of every show.
Everybody. I'm trying my hardest.
No, yeah, I'm sure I would have come up with the same thing. It's just funny.
Okay. Go because you're not the one having to do it.
Yes, exactly.
Precisely.
Hi there, Disco Fanserman crew. My name is Penny Pesonen, and I call from
I was not even
You
close,
were
was I?
super close.
I guess the J silent. Penami Pesonen.
Just a bit outside.
There you go.
Okay.
Finland. Hi there, especially Robert McCall.
So-
You're a super funny, brilliant guy. I love your stuff. You have great sense of humor.
All right, it's a fake question.
Such
Move on.
a super funny guy. I love you a lot.
Thanks, man.
And Eric Emac McCabe, I love you so much. Thank you for the Emac Truth. Thank you for everything you do for the disco community and Dynamic Discs. And Bobby Cool. That is liquid.
He knows the deal. He knows the deal.
I love you, man. I love you so much. Thank you for doing the media stuff for DD and everything you do. You do a lot of work. People don't even notice. You spend a lot of time for this community and just, I don't know. I just love you guys a lot. But let's go to my question. My question is about the deputy. I was wondering that when it's actually coming out for us mortals, because I've been waiting for it such a long time. And I've been waiting for an understable disc from DD lineup. And when it finally came out, it came out via the Trilogy Challenge. So it actually hasn't come out to the markets. So I was wondering that when it's going to come out, because we don't have so much those Trilogy Challenge here in Finland, and I don't have the resources to attend those tournaments. So that's my question. Thank you a lot. Be blessed. Thank you very much.
Thanks, man.
Well, first of all, yes, thank you so much for the compliments, and we love you guys too. Obviously, our Disc Golf Answerman listeners. I know it sounds cliche, but if it wasn't for you guys, we wouldn't have a show.
Yeah.
So
We would still just sit here and talk, but it wouldn't be
Record.
nearly as fun.
right, yeah.
You would be listening to no questions.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, just us talking, make our own questions. So
That's right.
to the deputy. First of all, the deputy, yes, is the putter in the Trilogy Challenge. If you're not sure what a Trilogy Challenge is, make sure you go to trilogychallenge.com to figure it out. It basically is, or I'll just tell you.
Yeah. You can go to the website, or I'll quote it verbatim.
Right.
Or listen to the next
It's
2
basically
minutes.
where it's an event in a box where you go and you can find an event that's being played in your area, and we send out player packs that'll have the 3 discs, a shirt, and a lanyard, and a mini. But it allows you to try 3 unreleased discs from the 3 companies: Dynamic Discs, Westside Discs, and Latitude 64. Just a fun, super fun, casual event that you can play. Anyway, a lot of people, you can't get these discs unless you play a Trilogy Challenge or super secret hack.
Ooh.
If an event ordered too many packs and they were unable to get enough players, they can elect to, depending on how many they have left, they can elect to send them back to us, or they can turn around and they can sell them
Nice.
however they want to. So you might check eBay. I mean, he said he was from Finland,
From
right?
Finland, that's right.
So again, it might be scarce there, but it might be worth a check to see if somebody puts them out there. Now, to his question, the Trilogy Challenge Deputy will not be released until probably October-ish.
think October is
Mhm.
the
So- so
intended release date right now, but it's not. That doesn't mean all plastics at once.
Right.
I think this is an educated guess, albeit not an official statement. I'm
Consider
pretty,
the source.
yes, correct. I mostly just hear things. I don't actually know things.
Right.
I think that we'll be doing Classic Hard will be the first other plastic that we release deputies in. And I think there'll be a special run for a certain female player of ours who uses them prolifically.
Who might that be?
Paige Pierce.
Ah,
Surprised you couldn't guess.
it was on the tip of my tongue.
That's what I think we're going to be doing. Now, I'm not entirely positive about that, but I
Right.
think that's what we're going to be doing around October. Now, I also know, and this is like super secret information, very insider. So I'm not going to say all of it. I'm just going to say a little of it.
Okay.
Piney Woods Open is coming up. That's a Dynamic Discs run A tier down in Tyler, Texas. And the deputy will be coming out in a special plastic for that event. Not like a special plastic that doesn't exist, but one that it doesn't exist in just yet.
This is the most excited I think I've ever seen.
Needless to say, I am excited. Bobby is definitely going to be excited.
I'll be there, and I'll buy all of them.
Nah, you don't
So
get to
no
have
one
any.
else is going to get them.
Sorry. The stamp specifically says not for Bobby.
Not for Bobby.
Do
Yeah,
not
I'm
resell to Bobby
I'm sorry.
Brown.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you guys don't know, the Deputy is an amazing disc for my skill level, and I'm sure for other skill levels. But for me, it just has the enough understable characteristics for me that it just makes it a perfect throwing putter. And I was crushing it
Oh, yeah.
when we had a couple of those holes that we were playing at the
We played Mando that you have to throw a putter off your drive.
I was throwing pretty good.
Yes.
I love that disc. So
Yes. And so does, you need to go watch videos of Paige throwing the deputy.
Oh,
Because,
gosh.
it's a smooth hyzer release to flat to finish right. And it's just a shot that most people don't have in their bag. And I think this disc is going to allow people to kind of get that back, which is really nice.
yeah. So I'm excited about it coming out in other plastics because I want to get it in.
Oh, yes.
I don't know that I want it classic hard or classic blend.
Guess we'll find out.
I right now I putt with the prime, so that's closer to the classic hard, correct?
Correct.
So we'll have to just wait and see.
When it gets a little cold outside, we'll get a blend or two out there. The protos that we
Baby, it's
have,
cold outside.
the protos that we have are blend. So you can try those out and you'll know immediately.
See ya.
And I'll be practicing
For the
now.
record, I might also be interested in trying those.
Okay, yeah.
That might
we
be
have
fun.
some. So
So okay,
them
all right. Next on to that was it. That was right. Oh, yeah.
that was it.
Yeah.
And it was Penemy, I think is what he said, or
Yeah.
something like that. Your English is very good. I can
Yeah.
tell you've worked on your accent, so well done.
All right, next one is from any of the Trilogy Challenge discs. The Westside Disc Pine and the Latitude 64 River Pro as well will not be available until the more November ones.
October-ish.
Yeah, ish. So all right, next one is from Gordon.
Hey guys,
might
I'm
be
going to
Jordan.
try and keep my question as brief as I can. But I, like many other people, like to throw multiple of the same mold. And like many other people, I carry several destroyers that have different flight characteristics. Some of them are straight, some of them are understable, and some pretty overstable. And I was wondering your take on how to achieve these different flight characteristics. Because I know that some people, it's strictly about just the level of beat-inness or how much wear is on the disc. So same weights and everything, same plastic, just different wear. But I know other people do different weights or different plastic types or different runs even is a big thing, especially I throw a lot of Discmania and there's different runs of PDs and FDs. And so I just wondered what your take is on what you think is the best way to achieve those flight characteristics that are different while still having the same feel in the hand. Thanks for all you guys do. Really enjoy the podcast and looking forward to your answer.
Thanks, Gordon.
What do you say, Robert McCall?
Before I played for Dynamic Discs, I threw a lot of destroyers as well. And at the time, I carried all Star Destroyers, and mine was my stages of stability were mostly equivalent with the stages of wear on the disc. So if one of mine was really beat up, then that was my flippy one. If one of them just was kind of medium, it was my straight one, things like that. And that was because I didn't love the feel of like the Champion Destroyer. And then they came out with G-Star probably after I had switched over to dynamic discs. With DD, one of the things that I really like is that with I do this with almost, I guess, all the distance molds that I carry. Not the Sheriff. I only carry one Sheriff right now, but I carry multiple Trespasses and Enforcers and Defenders. And for me, it's kind of a combination of the two, weights and plastics. So I know that Biofusion Defenders are going to be a little bit less overstable out of the box, while still overstable, slightly less overstable than a Lucid or a Fusion right out of the box. So if I want to get one that's just a little bit straighter, I'll start off with that. If I'm trying to fill a really, really overstable spot, then I'll go with a Lucid or a Fusion or just something like that. I don't think there's a right and a wrong way to do this sort of cycling. It's just whichever works best for you. And I think weights can play a factor, plastics can play a factor, but the most important thing is just you go throw those. Whichever ones work for you, those are the ones that end up in your bag. That's what I've done.
Do you know how I cycle through? What was it, Anthony? Same.
Uh-huh.
Do you know how I cycle through discs?
I mean, I have a guess, but I'll let you say it.
Once I throw it in the water.
Whether you lose it or not. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I know I need a new Renegade because I lost the one I currently throw.
No other Renegade.
Yeah. This one flips too much, but also it's in the water, so I need a new one.
All right, so one of the exciting things that me and Robert have coming up, and as well as Eric McCabe. Eric is playing in the Vibram Open, Maple Hill.
Yeah.
Vibram Hill Open Maple.
Yeah.
Perfect.
It's a very long title, but it's a prestigious event. It deserves it.
And me and Robert McCall and Jeremy Rusko are flying out Saturday morning. We're going to check things out over there in at Maple Hill. I'm super excited. I've been there one time before, me and Jonathan, when I was in the RV traveling with him. We stopped by for maybe 20, 30 minutes, looked around in the clubhouse and stuff.
Yeah.
And then we went out and he showed me hole one, and then we recorded a video of him talking, which I was very upset because afterwards I thought it was going to be an issue, and it was a huge issue, but there was a lot of, what's the bug? Cicadas?
Cicadas, yeah.
Cicadas. And that's all you could hear in the recording. So anyway, so I'm excited to go out there and actually see it being played.
Yeah.
And then, of course, watching our players and supporting them as they play.
Now, I've watched videos of that course from, years past, probably from 2008 until now. And I've never been there. Yeah. So I cannot wait.
I'm super jealous. I've heard that's like the top.
Yeah,
like, it doesn't get better in terms of disc golf in Maple Hill.
When we hear about events that you need to make each year, this is going to sound biased because we work at Dynamic Disc, but the three events that we hear you have to make these events are Beaver State, Glassblown Open, and Vibram Open. Like those are the ones we hear. If you don't make any other events this year, you need to make those.
So what we got going on is we'll be there Saturday and Sunday. And then
I plan on throwing the course. I don't care if it's dark. I'm throwing.
Oh,
I'm taking my discs.
Like that evening, Saturday or Sunday?
Probably.
Doesn't matter.
Highly.
Ask me if I'm scared.
Are you scared?
No, thank you for asking. See?
All right. So and then Monday we will be in Manchester.
Scarborough, Maine. That's right. which is really close.
When are we going to? When is the?
So Scarborough, Maine is a Sandbaggers Ball. That's on Monday after Vibram Open.
And then Tuesday.
Correct.
Good Lord, I don't even know what I'm doing.
What are you doing?
Oh, I don't know. Scarborough, Maine, Monday, we will be at the Sandbaggers Ball where Pleasant Hills Disc Golf Course will be hosting us there. Going to have a great time. Paige Pierce, Ricky Wysocki.
EMAC, Drew,
Eric
Zach
Oakley,
and Tina, Zach and Tina, Eric and Tina. We're going to have a lot of players.
We're going to have a lot of players there. So
obviously, such disc golf giants as yourself and myself.
Have you had anybody ask you if you're going to be there?
Yeah.
Who?
A couple of people.
Have they?
Yeah.
I've had people too as well.
Not a lot. Only a couple.
Anyway, it's exciting.
Not including my parents.
Were they related? Yeah, I was going to say, is it Rusko and your wife?
Yeah, that's right. Hey, so you want to go to this? Yeah. Thanks, Rusko. I appreciate that.
So anyway, so it's going to be really good times. I'm really looking forward to it. And then, of course, Tuesday at the Hollows, which is in Manchester.
New Hampshire. That's correct. Manchester, New Hampshire.
Okay. We will be doing the Luck of the Draw skins match with Ricky and Paige.
And Eric.
McCabe.
Can't wait.
So if you're in that area and you have figured out from all my befuffle of everything that's going on,
That's a word.
It is now.
then make sure you're out there and come by and say hello. We'd be happy to say hello and shake your hands. And of course, have you participate in the events that are taking place.
Yeah.
So
We are thrilled to be
it's
out
gonna be
there.
fun.
I mean, I'm saving all my most exciting polos that I don't get to wear a lot just so I can wear them out there. Not even to look cool,
Wow.
just like because I'm so excited. Like
How
I'm
fun.
going to be wearing my favorite stuff.
All right.
Does that mean there's new shoes on the way too?
Oh,
Perhaps
Okay.
because
Not
birthday
ruling it
month.
out.
Birthday month
Birthday
starts
month.
on
yeah,
Friday.
yeah. We had this discussion on
Birthday-
one of our travels.
Birthday month starts on
month.
Friday for
Yeah,
me.
it's
Yeah.
birthday month.
Yeah, and during birthday month, we don't go crazy, right? But
Well,
we'll
no, because it's an entire month. How could
Well,
you?
that's true, but you know, like say we'll see, a shirt that normally I wouldn't go buy, but then Shay and I will be like, it's birthday month, and it's so super great. It's not great for our finances. Disregard that. It's super great because on my birthday month, Shay, will get more stuff than we would get in normal months.
Mhm.
Same for her birthday month with me. Overall, it's a really great system.
Congratulations.
It's not
man.
great for saving money,
Yeah,
but it is very exciting when birthday
as long
month rolls around.
as it goes both ways.
It does.
As long as she gets a birthday month too, I guess it's fair.
That's right. That's
Okay.
right. Yep. So September is the start of my birthday month. Can't wait.
What is the most expensive thing that either of you have bought on birthday month?
On
Or during
birthday month?
during birthday month?
We don't buy super expensive stuff usually. It's just like, hey Dougie, it's just like our event coordinator Doug Bierkus walked
TD
in.
of
So
the
just
year,
wanna
Doug
say-
Bierkus.
He's there.
Yeah.
Yeah. We don't buy like big expensive things. We'll just buy smaller, less expensive things.
Okay, but what's
so,
the most extravagant thing?
so like we just go shopping and I'll get like a shirt and a pair of pants and shoes. I mean, stuff like that.
Does she let you get like
So you don't
three
get to-
avocados instead of two?
That's right.
Like,
We
okay.
we spring for that extra avocado.
So
No,
then
I
what's
guess
the
I did
difference in just the regular month. I mean, don't you?
because we usually don't go shopping that much in regular months. Like we go shopping sometimes, but in birthday month we're like, it's birthday month. Let's go shopping. It's a little bit harder here. There are less places to shop.
This is true.
You can hit all of them in a day.
Yeah, that's right. I guess I bought the Apple Watch a birthday month one
Oh,
time.
that's an expensive. I don't know if it's just extravagant.
I mean,
but
it was like-
it's something that you wouldn't buy every day.
No. That was
Or-
lumped into my birthday present for that year as well. So we didn't spend a lot of extra money on my birthday present.
So is your birthday like
The
even
30th.
more special during birthday month, or is it just birthday month and every day is kind of like your birthday is spread out over the month?
On our birthdays, we usually just do fun stuff instead of like going shopping and buying a lot of stuff. We just go do fun stuff. Like we go eat at a fun place and go do, I don't know. In Austin, we just would go to a place we hadn't really gone before. In Emporia, we've been to all places, so so we'll have to adapt a little bit. Anyway,
All right. Enough about birthday month. Next question comes from Maggie.
What is up, Disc Golf Answer Man crew? Cool Daddy Slick Breeze, Eric the Disc Golf Pin McCabe, and Robert the Prince of Emporia McCall. I
Dang
hope
it.
you guys are doing well. This is Mikey here.
Why are you only the prince?
I lost
and
in
not
the match play
king?
thing.
Okay. You like wanted to hurry up and get it out so we could just
He's been dreading
move
this
over
moment.
this.
I'm not
I
excited about it.
forgot. We didn't
I
even
thought-
talk about that.
I thought myself out of a short putt, wind kicked up, and I was like, I'll just make it, and I didn't.
You know what you should have done?
What?
Tank in the first round like I did, and then you don't have to worry about
You don't
losing in
have
the
to play
finals.
any. Yeah,
so we had a match play system set up here for Emporia, and we called it King of Emporia.
But
And-
before it was Moon's Match Madness in Austin. I mean, it's just that's where I learned
Bless
about
you.
it. That's where Dixon learned about it.
Oh well, but we did something like this.
He learned about it from that.
I feel like this is
Oh, I
like
get what
many
you're saying.
moons
I get
ago,
what you're saying. I
yeah.
get what you're saying.
Yeah. Anyway, go ahead.
Oh, okay, everything's Texas.
Yeah, I was
is
gonna
No,
say,
I'm
well-
not saying that's the only place that's done it. I'm just saying that's where he got.
this sounds like the
format
two
from
out the
it.
box on one where like everybody's like, oh, it's just a local thing where
Yeah.
I'm from.
No,
like
literally every person does that.
everywhere has that.
anyway, so
So
Dixon Jowers and I
you
got to
made
the
it
finals.
to more the finals, right? It was just you two,
Mhm.
and so
I was up 2 with 5 to go. I gave away 2 just on a bad second shot and a bad tee shot. And so we were all square going into the last 3, and we both birdied the 16th hole of Jones Gold. And the 17th, I left myself like 15, 18 feet left of the basket, little straddle putt, which I kind of struggle with straddle putts, but I mean, it's that close. It's not hard.
That's normal 6 on East, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I was just left of that tree.
Okay.
And I straddled out to the right and hit left side chains, and it didn't stay in. It didn't deserve to stay in. It could have, but it didn't deserve to stay in. So I was one down to Dixon going into hole 7, and we both 3'd hole 7.
So then let me ask you this, and I'm not trying to like put salt in the wound or anything like that. This is an important thing that people ask.
Right.
So, I mean, when you missed it, I screamed that I was watching on my iPhone because Eric McKay was live streaming it. And
so if you'd like to watch this epic collapse.
Oh, yeah. So Eric McKay
epic collapse, he says.
So what's the lesson that you learned or what's the takeaway? In other words, we get a lot of people that say, how do I, when I have a bad hole, when I have a bad whatever, how do I mentally just kind of get to the next hole?
I'll tell you what happened. And this is something that I've battled in my disc golf career for a long time. And that's just the mental side of disc golf, right? Like that's to me more important than a lot of the physical abilities. I will set those aside to have a better mental game if I have to. And I have done that before where I wouldn't practice at all on my physical stuff and would just practice mentally and I would get better. And one of the problems that I've had whenever I step over putts, especially, and then especially straddle putts, is I start doubting that I'm going to make it. And then I'll think the word miss or something like that. You're not going to miss this. But as soon as you think that, you've put the word miss in your head and then you're thinking about it. Right. That crept in whenever I was standing over that putt because I don't love straddle putts, but I was so close that I was like, whatever, I'll just make it. And I should have stepped off and gone back through my actual routine where I control the thoughts in my head and then make the putt because that's how you do that. Like routine, execute. That's how it's supposed to happen. So then 18, I mean, all that I knew for 18 was I can't dwell on that. I have to throw a good shot here or it didn't matter in the first place. And so I got a birdie 3 on the hole, put the pressure on Dixon, and he almost missed his last putt. He didn't, but it was low right side. I put the pressure on that I needed to. So when you miss a short putt like that, the key to bouncing back is short memory. Like that's in the past. I can do 0 things about it right now. The only thing I can focus on is my next shot, not the next hole, not what's my possible score that I could finish at. Next shot.
There you go.
So,
all right, lesson learned.
Anyway, yeah, and don't miss short 15 to 18 footers.
Right. Okay, so let's get back.
Turns out it's not good.
Mikey's question.
Cool Daddy Slick Breeze, Eric the Disc Golf Pin McCabe, and Robert the Prince of Emporia McCall. I hope you guys are doing well. This is Mikey here. I sent in a question last week about your strongest and weakest parts of your game. I never told you mine, so here it is. My weakest part of my game is probably calculating the wind and playing in the wind. I am not very good at it. It's pretty embarrassing, actually.
Same.
Strongest part of my game, I would have to say, would be scramble shots. I am in the woods often, and I've gotten pretty good at getting out of the woods. Grew up playing Ultimate Frisbee, which has definitely helped me come up with some cool shots and some shots that I don't even know how I came up with, but it's pretty awesome. Now to my questions. I have a 2-part question. First question for you guys is, if you had to throw only one type of DD plastic in all your discs, which plastic would you choose and why? My second question.
What was the first one first?
Oh, that's so hard.
I'm going to guess we can't just say like classic and get all 3.
I don't think so. Although I like where your head's at.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
really
super hard for me. I would probably say Fusion.
I'd go with Fusion.
I was going to say Biofusion.
Bio's not a bad choice. Although we don't make Wardens in Biofusion, so I'd be in
No,
trouble.
he just said one round, right?
I think he said
forever?
one type of plastic forever.
Until you die.
Yeah.
Croak.
I would probably take Fusion just because it's got a decent grip to it. I already throw multiple Fusion discs. If not, I could get, comparable ones to the ones that I have.
The biggest adjustment, though, would have to be putting with Fusion.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I didn't think about like the actual discs available in that plastic.
Right.
I was just thinking purely like, what could I throw as a driver, mid-range, and a putter? I didn't think about discs. That's going to make things.
Yeah, if we had Bio Wardens, then that'd be a consideration for me. But right now we don't. I don't know. I would be really sad if I was forced to make that decision because I like a lot of our plastics.
All right, so let's hear the second part of the question.
I am trying to get into the world of dyeing discs. So my question is, do you guys have any disc dying people that you know of that I can check out to get some ideas and just kind of learn how to get involved and dye some discs on my own and in my spare time. Hope you guys are doing well. Thank you so much for the show, and always keep it real.
Well, now that you mentioned it, I want to keep it real.
Why don't you keep it real?
I want to keep it real.
Do it.
I think it's great that a lot of people want to get into dyeing of the discs. You just got to be careful because I see so much of it on Facebook and the quality's not there.
Yep.
And I feel bad because sometimes I'll see them and I'll look at it and they're so proud of it. And I understand, I completely get being proud of something you created. Hello, I am into
the artistic industry. Yeah.
Right. I think it's amazing, but I think some people, it reminds me of, this is going to sound way off, but American Idol.
I was thinking that you would say this. We've never talked about this before, but I thought you'd say this.
Yeah, is that
when somebody comes up for the first time
and they perform and the entire time their family and friends and mom has been telling them that they sing really well when they can't. But in their mind, for some reason, they believe they can sing really well. Now, I'm not going to take away the heart or the desire. They've got that, but you have the part of the equation is having the talent as well. So now that's kind of way out there example, but what I'm getting at, the punchline is that sure, you think your creation is wonderful and you created it, but man, I've seen some stuff that it just doesn't look right. It doesn't look good. And people are thinking they're going to sell it and become a business. So Mikey, I obviously don't know your intentions or if it's just going to be like, you're just going to do a few so you can have it in your own bag or you're going to try to sell it. But just know that you're going to have quality. It has to be quality and to do really well.
Yeah, that's a really tough one because there are established names who have done really well. And then there are people who are still just grinding, trying to make it, who some of their stuff is good and then some of it's just okay.
I mean, I would just say to go to Facebook and because I don't know anybody specific. I do know one guy by the name of John Brown, that's on, we're connected on Facebook, that he does a lot of disc dyeing. He'll do some disc dyeing videos. Please do not do them on Disc Golf Answerman. Not just specifically talking to you, John Brown, talking to whoever is disc dyeing and does videos. I think it's awesome that use the power of social media to get the word out, but Disc Golf Answerman is not designed and not created for that. Anyway, but on your own page, on your own Facebook group, man, do every live video, every disc you do, go for it. But if you search disc dyeing, I bet you're going to find a lot of groups and stuff to be involved in.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that do it.
And a lot of people that are willing to help you, like what's the best chemical to use to rub off the stamp.
Acetone.
Right. But I mean, different things. What's the best kind of dye to put on there? So I say go for it.
Kevin Schaefer is one of our graphic designers. He's done some pretty cool dyes. So you might reach out to him, just message him on Facebook. Yeah. But I mean, there are Jeff Ash does Brainwave. Good luck emulating that.
That's who comes to mind for me when
but he just got. I saw on his Facebook page.
He just got a patent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So he ain't going to tell you how he
super
do it.
Good luck. But then Chris Smith out of here in Kansas, he does dyes all the time on Heiser-Knott's discs and stuff like that. So there's a lot of people doing it. I'm sure some of them would be willing to help.
The most interesting thing I saw one time, and I don't know if it's a standard practice a lot of people do, but someone taking a box fan and taking one of the sides off and using that as a place to put
I've done
disc.
that.
That's cool.
That's so weird.
Yeah.
Huh.
I've seen people do it with a hand drill where you just secure the disc with tape or whatever in the middle. You just spin the drill. Yeah.
Cool.
How did it go again? So and then I've seen old record players.
Nice.
I don't know what else I've seen.
What about new record players?
No.
Cheaper?
No.
Oh, okay, my bad.
No.
I don't know anything about disc dyeing, by the way.
MP3 players.
I was going to say,
iPods.
Put a disc on your iWatch and then let me know if it spins.
By the way, it's not an iWatch; it's an Apple Watch.
Hello.
Excuse me. I will have a written apology on your desk tomorrow morning.
No, by the end of the EOB.
Excuse
End of
me.
business.
Is that birthday month?
Yeah.
Yeah. End of birthday month.
And it's not an iTouch. They just drive me nuts.
That's right.
It's an Apple. It's an iPod Touch.
iPod Touch.
Not an iTouch.
Yep. We should move on to the next question.
Let's go with one of your tips, Robert McCall.
What tip?
Quick.
What do you got for us this week?
Here it is.
Quick.
I've seen on Facebook a lot lately, people have been talking about throwing putters and the effectiveness of throwing putters and that they can't quite understand how to throw a putter. or if you think it's a bad idea. And here's a couple of things. One, we say on here all the time, don't throw your putting putters. Just don't do it. I think one of the guys who we saw on Facebook earlier was giving Danny Lindahl a hard time about throwing putters. And I don't think Danny's throwing his putting putters. And I think that's kind of the point. Like, you want your putting putters to stay in the best shape that you can. So having them fly as little as possible is the key to that. I like choosing premium plastic for my throwing putters so they don't beat up as quickly, so that their flights remain consistent for an extended period of time. That's one quick tip. This is a double quick tip today. You're welcome.
Whoa! Bonus.
You're welcome in advance.
2 for 1.
That's right. But I'd say if you're having difficulty throwing putters, a lot of times I see people who are still trying to get a full reach back and full power out of a putter. And one thing I would suggest to you is to try and shorten your reach back a little when you're throwing putters. That allows you to keep your form a little bit more compact. Your major muscle groups are moving more closely together. And a lot of times, since your arm is traveling a shorter distance, you don't have quite as long a time to match the angle from all the way reach back to all the way followed through. So I know, like, when I throw a putter, I don't know, I'll put my wardens out around 300 feet on a line that I choose, a straight or a turnover, or a hyzer or whatever. And for me, I still shorten my reach back a little just to ensure that they come out cleanly, because if they do come out cleanly, then you're going to get the flight that you predicted more often than not. So don't throw your putting putters. Look at getting a premium plastic for a throwing putter if you're going to do that. And then when you are throwing those, shorten your reach back just a little bit. I think that helps to keep the disc on line.
The biggest thing that I thought was weird when I was throwing my putter is that I grabbed my putter, and because of the feel of it, I gripped it like I was putting. And
Don't
it was
do
like,
that.
No, you gotta grip it like you're gonna throw it. And it was like, this feels weird.
Yeah, because you putt with your index on the rim.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Don't throw like that.
No.
Do you putt with your index? What do you?
First knuckle on the bead, or where the bead would be for me.
Okay. What about you, Anthony? Do you?
Pretty much the same, but my finger's pretty loose.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I really don't notice it much, but yeah, the first knuckle.
For sure.
Cool.
And
All
that doesn't mean, I just want to say, because I had a friend argue this with me.
Argue me this, friend.
Yeah. Back like years ago, where like if you putt with a judge, that doesn't mean you can't also throw judges.
Right.
But don't putt with the same judge that you
Right.
throw.
Exactly.
Have two.
Yeah, because I putt wardens and I also throw wardens. They're just not the same ones.
Yeah. That's totally fine.
Yes.
Do you use wardens as plates as well?
Mm-hmm. Okay. We have a stack of them at the house.
I'm
I'm very fond of them.
Mr. Warden.
That's me.
Do you ever find out why A-Ray calls him Warden?
Warden. I don't know.
Yeah.
Cause he crazy.
He cray. All right, so let's get to now. We are done with SpeakPipe. Now we have a few questions so you get to listen to my voice.
Oh, yes. This is the part of the episode I look forward to most.
This one is from
time.
Kenny Underkoffler.
Thank you, Kenny.
He says, Mr. Cool Daddy, what is the worst accident / closest call you've had while recording with your drone?
Ooh.
I've had 3 bad accidents with the drone.
Nice. I don't think I've heard of any of these.
We're going to skip the close calls and go to the full on
Yeah.
calls.
Worst. So we were actually at, no, it was a quantum. We were messing with some quantum physics. No, it was a
Very smart.
Phantom 2.
Yeah.
Okay. So it was one of the earlier DJI quadcopters. We were at, I don't remember what the event was, but we were at, dadgummit, Brian Lamoureux.
Cedar Hill?
Yes, but it was the new
Mount Lebanon.
Yes, that one because it's on like a Bible camp, right?
Yeah, right.
So anyway, so we were out there and we had the RV and I was flying and it was fairly new because I was still trying to figure it out and everybody was like, "Ooh, quadcopter, so cool."
Bobby, you're so cool.
And I was flying it over people as they were checking in and it got super close to the RV and one of the blades or props clipped the RV and then of course it was all over. It was like straight down. I don't remember if it hit anybody or not. I don't think it hit anybody. But
if it did, they probably don't remember.
guess who
either.
was standing right there?
Rusko.
Jeremy Rusko.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I was at that event.
Nice.
Now that you say that, it was an event where I was about to have knee surgery, so I wasn't playing. So I was just hanging out.
So that was one. Thankfully, nothing big, no big deal. Just had to change a blade, propeller. So it wasn't a big deal.
I'm sure Rusko thought it was a big deal, though.
And then my second one was with the most recent quadcopter I have, and that's the DJI Mavic Pro. And I was at in Texas again.
You got to stay out of Texas with
There's
that.
a trend here.
What was the one I went to that?
Probably Waco
There was
Annual
Waco
Charity
this
Open.
year.
Yes.
Yep.
And I was flying, and I was trying to do a really cool shot where the drone was going to fly through 2 DD banners over a T-pad, and I was backing it up, and I wasn't. I was looking at the monitor, and I was turned away from the quadcopter because of the sun was putting a bad glare on my iPhone, and I back up, and all of a sudden I hear it, zzz, and then I see nothing on my screen. I look back, and I backed up into a tree.
Dang it.
That one tore it up.
Oh,
Like I couldn't use it anymore. So I had to send it in, and whatever the gimbal part that holds onto the camera had to be replaced. So I had to send it in $300 and some odd repair.
Dang it.
That was not fun.
No.
Oh, wait, I forgot
There's another?
where I impaled myself.
Oh, yeah. I want to hear this one.
That takes a special kind of talent.
So it was
This is getting closer to me, but I'm just going to keep going.
Keep going.
it was with the back to the Phantom 2, the bigger model. And it was at Glass One Open. I was doing it during the block party, and I was getting so mad at Dixon because Dixon is a great person at speaking.
Yes.
He's great at doing that. He can talk. But at this point, I wanted him to shut up and do the Ring of Fire because I was running out of battery, and I had.
Oh, okay, yeah. It was a time-sensitive thing,
and I wanted to get that sweet money shot of. We're talking what 100. People,
yeah, if not more, just putting all at the same time.
Putting on a Ring of Fire.
It looks super cool.
You've obviously seen pictures, but anyway, it's flying up there. It's beeping at me saying it's running out of battery, and it was the last battery, and they take about 3 or 4 hours to charge. And he would not. He just kept talking. One time, I finally yelled, "Just start the Ring of Fire!" I don't know if you ever heard.
I have batteries to tend to.
So anyway, finally he did it, and I got the money shot. But then as it was coming down, it was coming toward a tree, and I had to move it away from a tree, and I was caught. So anyway, I had that tension going on of the battery. It's flying over hundreds of people, and I needed to get down. And this little kid comes up and says, "Oh, that's really cool." And I said, "Yeah, it's a cool quadcopter." He's like, "Can you see it?" And I'm showing him, trying to be nice guy.
Right.
As it's coming down, he's reaching up to try to get it.
No,
that's a big mistake.
Exactly.
Don't. That will hurt you.
And I was like, no, you can't. And I'm in this split second stuff, I'm looking around for a parent to kind of help me out here.
Right.
Nothing. And he's reaching up. So I had to reach up and grab it literally had to reach up to grab it to almost snatch out of his hand. And when I did that, obviously it kind of moved it around, and one of the propellers got me right here. And if you can't see it, but there's
you've got a scar.
Yeah, there's a scar there from the propeller.
I take back my laughs. That kid has 10 fingers because of you.
Yeah, right. You're welcome, son.
Yeah. So that was. I mean, that could have really hurt the kid.
Yes.
So, yeah. And so I was bleeding pretty good. And of course I grabbed it. It sliced me, and I just kind of like took it, like, and then I put it down, and then I walked over and I grabbed some paper towel and I put it on my arm, whatever, and then had to turn it off. Kick the kid. No, I didn't kick the kid. I didn't touch
Dang
the
it,
kid.
man.
So anyway, so I was like, man, I wonder if that's going to leave a scar. And sure enough, I have 2 little marks.
Yep, you can tell.
Where it has a scar.
The things we do for great video shots.
Yes, the things we do.
And small children.
And small children.
Yeah, and also maintaining all the fingers.
All right. So thank you, Kenny, for having me relive that.
You got PTSD now.
Yeah. Next one is from Silas. What's up, Disc Golf Answer Man crew? I had a question today about player versatility. Me and my brother played together a lot, and he is primarily a forehand player for distance and control, while I'm a backhand player for distance and control. We've both been working to improve on our weaknesses and learn from each other. And I was wondering, is it easier to be a forehand dominant player and develop a utility backhand, or a backhand dominant player and develop a utility forehand? Thanks, guys. The sport of disc golf would not be the same without you. What say you?
He said easier, right? Would it be easier?
Is it easier?
I think it would be easier to be forehand dominant, just because I feel like that's a more natural motion. So if you're just starting out, I feel like it's easier to throw a forehand than a backhand. But if you're wanting to be good, definitely learn a backhand.
Yeah. I would honestly say the opposite, to tell you the truth.
Really?
Yeah, because I've seen.
Okay, well, you're wrong.
Yeah, well, turns out I'm dumb. Maybe I'm different than a lot of people in this, but I grew up just throwing like an ultimate frisbee around, just at church events and camps and things like that. And so that's always backhand. Like I never ever threw it forehand. Always backhand. And for me, then learning a forehand was an endeavor, but because I had thrown backhand, adjusting to having a good backhand was easier for me than just going all forehand and then being like, oh, I got to learn a backhand. I think the reason that it's advantageous to have a better backhand to start is that, like it or not, disc golf courses are generally engineered to be more in favor of backhand finishes and backhand flights. You can achieve a lot of different flights with a backhand than you can with a forehand. Not saying better ones, just different ones. And so if I were you, I would start with learning a good backhand personally, and then get a utility forehand. After that, one of the reasons I say that, I talked to Zach Melton about this. He's a lefty, and so he's always having to throw lefty forehands. And if you're a lefty, I think it's super important to have a forehand because you can really be in a difficult situation if you don't. But when people say a course is lefty friendly or forehand friendly, a lot of times that boils down to lefties having a distinct advantage on about a third of the holes. Whereas there are a lot of courses where righties have the advantage on nearly
about
every
17
hole.
holes.
Yeah, exactly. So, or at least it's a wash, it can accept either flight. So I would say backhand and then forehand, but you're doing the right thing in working on your weaknesses now, because there's guys like Big Germ, forehand dominant players who then developed a good backhand to go with it. And then he's a really good player. Yep.
Let me ask you this, and this might be a little more philosophical.
I love talking philosophy, so this is perfect.
With me or
with you in general?
Oh, you do?
Specifically. He talks about this all the time.
Bobby and I were just talking philosophy. It was my favorite.
It was the best day.
He mentions improve on our weaknesses.
Yeah.
And I get that.
Sure.
But I'm beginning to be where, because that's what you get taught a lot.
Sure.
Work on your weakness.
Mm-hmm.
And we focus on our weakness. I think you should work on your strength.
Yeah.
And continue to make those even stronger.
Sure. That's assuming a certain level of skill, I think.
Yeah.
Elaborate.
Okay. So, for somebody like, who's a good example? I'll be the example for this one. For somebody like me who has a pretty good backhand, like I'm a backhand dominant player, and then working on a forehand, that makes sense because I've got almost every shot, at least within reason, with my backhand. Now, like I've said before, still working on Anheuser's, definitely working on being more comfortable with distance drivers in my hand. But for the most part, I've got all the shots that I need to cover a course backhand. If I didn't have a forehand at all, I would have a little bit more difficulty than if I just had a utility forehand, because even a 250, 275, 300-foot forehand opens up so many options on the course that it's easier to attack, right? So I'm not going to lose my backhand. That's already ingrained pretty well. Instead, I'm just adding a tool to my toolbox. Now, if I only had one angle on a backhand and it was just a hyzer, then yes, I would exclusively work on my backhand until it was strong.
So is that really a weakness?
Yeah, I would think so.
Or is it just something that you have?
Yeah, if everything is equally weak. Like if you're brand new, do you really have a weakness?
Yeah, if we don't know where these guys are at.
Sure.
But if you're brand new, like for my wife who goes out and plays disc golf with us every once in a while, she's got like a pretty decent backhand, but I mean, she's just beginning. She will only ever throw a forehand if she has to just like pitch out or get out of trouble. She's not using it for a shot off the tee, an upshot or anything like that. And I think that's smart because she's trying to develop one shot to get to where she's got it. Because like you guys said, kind of when you're at that point, most of everything is a weakness, is something that you need to work on. Once you've developed one of those skills, I think it's important to add the other.
I will say that for a beginner, well, not a super beginner, but She throws really straight,
dude.
which is very good.
She's never getting 30 strokes again.
Right.
Ever.
Which is a very good place to start.
Yep.
If you're wanting to get improved, because
That's
she's got that part done.
That's what we worked on from the very first time we went out to play. She said, I want to be good at this, not because I want to compete like in tournaments or whatever. I just don't like being bad at stuff, which I respect because I'm the same. Like
it's a good attitude. To have.
Come on, let's do it. And so we've talked a lot about throwing across a tabletop and carrying the tray of drinks and making sure that the release is flat and level. We've still got some work on her X step. She X steps her left foot in front of her right foot instead of behind it. Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah.
All right. Next question comes from Jordan. This will be our last question of this episode. Hi, guys.
Hi.
I love the podcast and all that you do for the sport. My question is, I can play 18 holes, and I'm, for the most part, very consistent with my shots and game overall. But if I just start over right away and play another 9 holes, my shots and scores are drastically worse. Is it something I should be worried about? Is it mental or physical?
Sounds like he's probably just getting tired. If it's 18 holes at one course and then he plays the front 9 again, it sounds like it's just, you just played 18 holes of disc golf and now he's tired.
There is something to be said about overall physical conditioning and stamina. Ask Conor McGregor.
Yeah.
Got him.
Now I'm sure everybody's yelling at the radio.
He did stick
now.
in there for a few rounds, but that's what everyone expected to happen.
Right.
He was going to come out and try and swing for a knockout because that's really the only chance he wasn't going to outlast Floyd in the ring. Right. So he was swinging for the fences, which he had to, and it tired him out.
Did you watch the fight?
Poor guy.
Yeah. I'd give him props though. He made it to
Heck
the 10th. The 10th
Who did you
of
want to
12
win?
rounds.
Oh, I wanted McGregor to win.
Why?
Chaos.
Yes.
Could you imagine
If you won.
if a brand new guy just beat one of the best boxers of all time?
Yeah, if not the best. I mean, undefeated record of 50-0.
Yeah.
Like that's
Now I'm going to
awesome.
be completely honest.
Come on. Keep it real.
I keep it real. I have obviously heard of Floyd Mayweather.
Right.
I'd heard of Conor McGregor, but I didn't follow him at all.
Okay.
So I didn't know any history of Mayweather and the whole wife beating and girlfriend beating and
Correct,
stuff like that. I
yeah.
didn't know all that. I didn't know the whole Conor McGregor used to live in a shoe. Not even in a
Right.
shoe.
Yeah. But homeless.
But
At least that's what
homeless.
people
He
are
wore
posting on
shoes.
Facebook
Right.
now.
That he's
That's
homeless.
actually true.
Okay, yeah.
Like
So he's homeless.
4 or 5 years ago.
Sure,
Like
right.
not that long.
Right.
Yeah.
So I didn't. When I was like, people were asking me because we were sitting there waiting to watch it. People were saying, "Who do you think is going to win?" I wanted Floyd to win because he was a boxer and that's his thing.
Right.
And I was like, I want him to win.
Yeah. I wanted McGregor to win for the same reason on the opposite side of the
Right.
coin. Because he's not a boxer.
Because he's not a boxer.
Yeah.
And I guess in my mind, I was thinking because it is boxing, my thinking was Mayweather was going to win anyway.
Right.
So that's who I would kind of go for. And don't you guys, if you guys are listening, you're yelling at me because I wanted Mayweather, just chill.
Yeah.
Well, I see stuff on Facebook and people are
Right.
just, as soon as someone says, "Hey, Mayweather, you're great," people just attack them. And I'm like, man, that's why I don't even post stuff like that on Facebook because
Sure.
it's no sense of even getting a debate.
Well, it would be like if a golfer came over to disc golf and wanted to play Ricky Wysocki and beat him on,
I think
on a
like
round.
an ultimate player would be more accurate.
Yeah. an
Okay.
ultimate
Yeah.
player,
There you go.
yeah,
There you
it's
go.
like-
Something more relative. There you
It's
go.
a different sport.
Say if Brody Smith
Yeah.
was like, all right, I'm going to challenge Ricky Wysocki, and then all of a sudden he beats him at disc golf.
I'm betting all of my things on Ricky.
Yeah, there. I don't know if the right word. What's the right word? It takes legitimacy away from disc golf when that happens.
Right.
So boxing fans definitely didn't want Conor to win.
Right.
For the drama of it and for the excitement of it, and that I don't really love Floyd that much, I wanted Conor to win.
I thought it was a good event.
It was fun to watch.
Mhm.
It was fun to watch.
Yeah.
It was exciting. I don't know if it was because it took us an hour to actually get it to work because of the stupid UFC
Oh, at
app.
Shedson's Bar and Grill.
Yeah,
Nice.
the UFC app and all that debacle was terrible.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Did
so it
you
was
hear
exciting.
about how they like delayed it?
Yeah, because of
Because
pay-per-view.
They
Yeah.
apparently that was Floyd's call.
Really?
Like he was just in his locker room warming up, and somebody was like, "Hey, did you hear pay-per-views are out?" And he was like, "All right, we're gonna wait."
This is smart play.
Like-
because this was the show.
That's
Yeah.
how you get to be Floyd Mayweather.
That's the thing. That's the thing is no
I
matter.
don't think it was rigged.
No,
But it was a
but
show.
no matter what happens, it's going to be entertaining.
Right.
No matter what, and it was really fun to watch.
I think
and
it's
and
funny.
they made their hundreds of millions of dollars.
Yeah, I don't feel bad for Conor for losing.
No.
Although every part of me every part of me wanted them to call the fight when he gets knocked out. And then when they're, getting ready to announce that Floyd won or whatever, Conor just grabs him and then just goes MMA. And then just, because there was a couple times when they were clinched and you could tell Conor's initial instinct is to sweep his leg and take him down and ground and pound.
Right.
And that would just have been awesome. But of course it would have been
Did you hear?
What's it called? Assault.
Yeah.
Manslaughter.
Did you hear leading up to it? Because people were always like, oh, well, what if he just all right, ding, the bell rings and he just kicks him in the head.
Right.
$10 million.
Yep.
That would have been the fine
Every single time. Yeah. Like if he did
every time he does an MMA thing.
Every MMA move is $10 million out of his
But you got to have something.
Oh, totally. He's got to protect himself.
He would have went off.
Oh, of course.
And he would have, Mayweather would have not known what got him because he's not that
I do think waking up today.
Right. Yeah. I do think if we flip the script and put them both in MMA, then it's over so much faster. Yeah. Only because there are so many different angles from which an MMA fighter can attack. Either way, it was a great show and fun to watch. It pertains to this question because I think the same thing is probably happening to this guy that happened to Conor. He's just running out of gas.
He's running out of gas, and you have to remember that when that so after 18 holes, it is mentally taxing to play that much. Now, obviously, a casual round is going to be as mentally taxing as say you're playing a tournament, but it's still mentally taxing. And then if you're tired, then that's going to weigh on you mentally because your body is tired.
It only compounds. It becomes, it exacerbates the situation when you are mentally tired and physically tired. I have a blog post come out about that sometime soon.
No way.
Never mind. I don't have that.
Not anymore.
On the dynamicdiscs.com/blog blog area. We'll have a discussion about that.
All right.
One way, just really quick, to fight that mental fatigue, I think it was Ken Climo.
Yep.
Who would say
that's what I wrote in here as
well.
Yeah,
once the disc is out of his hand, he's not thinking about disc golf.
Yep.
He's thinking about what he had for dinner last night. Oh, I have to do laundry when I get home, whatever. And then once he steps up to his shot, now it's back to think about disc golf until he throws, and now it's back to cutting the grass or whatever.
I'd heard it from a few people. That's basically the principle that we're talking about in the blog. I'd heard it from Climo and I want to say Feldberg, and just a lot of people have said that similar sort of thing, and it's worked for me as well. Yeah. So check out that blog. It's a good idea.
You think about doing Climo's laundry after you throw?
I'm like, you know what? Ken has laundry to do.
Yeah. What Feldberg have for dinner?
I think he has some dishes I need to get.
That's right.
So. All right, guys. Well, that's all the time we have for this episode 184, creeping slowly to episode 200.
Ooh, getting close.
We'll have to figure out how we're going to do something special for episode 200.
Too bad it's not in birthday month. I'd buy all of us something. It's in Shay's birthday. Well, no, that's December. We'll probably do January. Sorry.
We could speed it up. Maybe have extra episodes.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Anyway, so episode 200 is coming up. Let's see. So next week is going to be iffy as far as episode because we're going to be out of town. I'll take my recording equipment.
I'll just do a solo show.
You should do a solo show.
Yeah, I'll just switch back and forth between chairs. It'd be great.
It's a good idea.
I'll take recording equipment. Maybe we can do something out there with all of the guys, Ricky Wysocki, Paige, and Eric, and all them. That'd be kind of fun to do.
That'd be really cool.
A round table type stuff. So
cool.
That's it, guys.
Nice.
See you next week.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.
Hey guys, thank you so much for listening to this episode. If you do me a huge favor, head out to iTunes or even on Stitcher and go rate and review our show. It would really help us out. Thank you so much.